I need to get as much shit out of my brain in 10 minutes as possible, because this shit is keeping me awake and I have wasted the entire day doom scrolling about this shit. I'll just go through my notes. The first thing I'd like to say is this entire event has really made me sort out liberals from people with no soul. Like, there are liberals, but even a lot of the liberals are saying, like, I didn't like him, I hated him, but he didn't deserve that. And a lot of those people are getting hate and death threats. Like, guess what? Thinking that somebody shouldn't die because of a political opinion or any opinion or whatever is not a right-wing concept, okay? That is a normal, bipartisan, whatever the correct terminology is, normal person thought is people shouldn't die for having opinions. That's what this country is supposed to be based on. But seeing the regular liberals from the people with no soul made me more tolerable of liberals and even Christians. I used to be like a super edgy atheist, and then I chilled out from then, but this made me even more tolerable. Like, I don't think I'll ever be like a Christian, like believe in specifically Jesus. I think it's kind of arrogant to be like, I think this one religion with this person's name is correct, whatever. But my God, the fact that some of them are honestly like, I don't have all this hatred, I don't want to hurt anyone, forgiveness, yada yada, that's commendable. That's impressive, because I had like fantasies of this guy getting like tortured in prison. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, if someone can change my mind on that, on being absolutely just violent fantasies about this guy, please bless my soul. I don't like Dean Withers, I think that's his name, the one debater guy that really didn't like Charlie Kirk. He was crying talking about that guy dying. I'm gonna cry. Again, I've been like just randomly crying like a psycho. I have that like horrible thing where if someone cries over anything, I'll start crying. I cried when like in middle school when my bully got upset. They didn't really stop after that, but that's what this is. But yeah, Dean started crying. I'm like, oh my God, this guy has a soul. And that kind of brings me to another thing. I want someone in the comments, just say something nice about the other side that you don't like. Just say something nice, like I'll go first. I think it's commendable that people on the left, at least they genuinely seem to want to make suffering stop. They don't want gun violence. I don't want, any violence. I'm sure deep down they don't want any, but they concentrate on gun violence. Okay, I commend that their hearts are in a good place. That's good, okay? Now we have to do that, and we have to be a little more empathetic toward the other sides. For instance, I'm pro-choice, I'm agnostic, atheist, whatever. I can listen and have debates with pro-life people and Christians and not hate them. I'm just trying to understand how they feel. And I'd like it if they could respect my beliefs too, that I'm pro-choice and not religious. That would be cool. We need to start agreeing on things and finding middle ground so we don't kill each other. Someone said it really good. Both sides are shitty. There's like people on the right beating people up on the left because they said fuck Charlie Kirk. That's the same fucking thing. They have the right to have their shitty opinions, even if it's awful and terrible to somebody. That doesn't mean they're not allowed to say that. Don't push people into fucking fountains because they didn't like Charlie Kirk. Talk to them like he wanted to talk to people. Holy shit, I didn't even like this guy that much. I don't know why this specific death instance thing is affecting me this much, but it is. And don't say, oh, well, what about the kids over there? What about this is the same energy as the BLM stuff, okay? We're not talking about all the other things. We're not talking about other things that kill people like cars and cancer and heart disease. We're talking about this one specific instance. And I heard they were taking down the South Park episode about him. Charlie reacted to that and he laughed at it. And what's really funny about this is that people are saying we are Charlie, which is a reference to Je suis Charlie in France, because there was an artist who got killed for making Muhammad comics. South Park is satire. That comic was satire. The whole fucking reason was because satire is supposed to be protected under freedom of speech. I don't care if the South Park episode is saying lies about him in comic form. That is free speech, and you could post it on YouTube and then react to it and be like, this is wrong because of this, and that's fine, but it's free speech. You get more finger pointing bullshit about oh, well, he had a trans boyfriend. I don't give a fuck if he was on the right or if the shooter was on the left or where he assassinated someone because of their beliefs and free speech. I don't care if he was gay, if he was black, if he was white, if he was Republican. And do you know how many liberals have Republican families? Like, his family being Republican has nothing to do with his stance. My father was, I don't know what the fuck my father was, but he wasn't my political opinions. Those are not related. His boyfriend, his girlfriend, whatever, is not related to what he did. Stop. Please, stop. You want him to be whatever or whatever so you can point fingers and like create more division. That's what all of this is division. That's all it is. There's tons of other people said this is not a right-wing, left-wing thing, okay? But the people who are celebrating it, okay, I'm not even talking about the shooter, it's the reaction to it, right? That's what people are saying. I agree. I'm basically saying what they're saying. Like, you guys celebrating it are not the good guys. You're not. Because they eat their own. Someone on the left comes out and says this is bad, and then they're like, no, you're wrong. If you're celebrating this, you're not the good guys, okay? No. I am like a centrist, okay? I'm a very middle ground person. I agree with things on the left, I agree with things on the right. I think, gays should be able to get married, and if you're actually trans, which should be a diagnosable thing, you should be able to live as the opposite sex. Your designated pronouns should be respected, all that shit. I believe in gun rights, I believe in freedom of speech, but I'm a centrist. I don't want either side to have too much power. I don't want to be designated like being ruled under somebody's religion and being told that if I don't believe in Jesus, I'm going to hell and I'm crazy or whatever. And that if I have to get an abortion for like my own health safety, if I was going to die, if I had the baby, that I'm a murderer of babies. But I also don't want people to be glorifying abortion. I'm in the middle. Okay, there's a left wing and there's a right wing, and it takes two wings to fucking fly. And like, there has to be a fucking balance. What happened to yin and yang? That's like an ancient fucking concept. I don't understand. And I just said, I'm not religious. But I hope whatever you believe in, that's what happens after you die. I hope he's with Jesus. I hope he's happy. If there's an afterlife, I hope that dude is happy. I laugh at some people who cry on camera, but like, I've never gotten like this over like a celebrity death or any of those things. Like, Steve Irwin really affected me, but that was an accident. Like, it wasn't somebody getting murdered, and it wasn't because they were just trying to talk to people like peacefully. All the good people who advocate for peace and conversation all get fucking killed. And I hope something good comes of this. Like, the irony, the twisted, kind of macabre foreshadowing of his organization called Turning Point, and this being kind of like a turning point. So maybe it'll change people's minds and just bring them together. I always say like, oh, the left this, the left that, but I recognize like more so now. Like, I knew it, but this really woken something to me. Like, that's not how you should do it. There's closed-minded people, and there's people willing to have a conversation. And if you're the former, that's the problem. It's not because you believe that gays should get married or they shouldn't, or guns or whatever the fuck. People who are able to converse with people they disagree with, and then there's people who can't, and they get violent and shitty when they're confronted. And I have 2 minutes left, but the only other thing on my notes was the mention of the bullet casings and how he had carved Bella Ciao into one of them. And I find that really ironic, because the last verse of that song is Il questo fiore di partigiano morto per la libertà. And that means this flower died for freedom. And I just think that's sad and ironic and horrible, because that's kind of what he did, because he died advocating for free speech. And without that, as a video I just watched before posting this actually pointed out, is like all political debate is free speech. Other places, you can't criticize the government. You can't say like, oh, fuck the police or whatever. You can't do that, because you're gonna get fucking arrested and put into jail or killed or have a hit put out on you by the government. If this wasn't that, we don't know. The point is, it awoken something in people that hopefully has a good thing, and it doesn't cause more hate from people. So I don't care if you're on the right, I don't care if you're on the left, I don't care if you're in the center. Just stop being horrible to each other and have a conversation with someone. This is the challenge. This is the new TikTok trend challenge, okay? Have a conversation with someone about something you disagree with, and do not get condescending, do not get shitty, and do not call each other names. Just have a fucking conversation. I don't care if it's about trans rights or gay rights or race or whatever. Have a fucking human conversation over a beer. And then if you don't agree in the end and you can't change the other person's mind, realize that that's fine. And you're not always going to change people's minds, because sometimes it takes over and over, and then eventually they do. It's not going to happen in one conversation. I have 10 seconds left. Thank you for coming to my toilet, bathroom, cry rant.